Wilson has taught English at both Suffolk and Boston University. She is creator and editor of the online magazine, The Poetry Porch. Her chapbook, The Need for a Bridge, and second full-length collection, Take and Receive, were both published in 2019. This is her original work.
This is Joyce Wilson. I will read a group of poems about matters local, on the South Shore, and near to my heart. The first poem is inspired by an article in the Boston Globe about a leaf blower beef between two neighbors. It's from the point of view of the officer making the report. Town Police Report, Bridgewater, Mass. The officer on duty was amused by neighbors who complained they were abused when on one side a resident was drawn to blowing leaves into another's lawn. While standing where the boundary divides, he found more leaves had fallen on both sides. It seems the leaves were only being fair by falling generally and everywhere. And during this pandemic, we always face the dilemma of wearing a mask. This is a story I heard from a grandmother about her 3-year-old grandson. Slant praise. He'll wear his new protective facial mask so long as he won't have to wear his pants. And I'm often out walking my dogs. This is a memory about the interaction between two of them, the dominance, the compensation, and it seemed there was the one, I don't name the dogs in this, but there was always the one dog and the other dog. 1. I drop a leash, the other picks it up to be of use, especially to tup the one who catches every ball that's tossed, then cries, a baby when the ball is lost. The other watches, waiting for his chance. With ball in mouth, he lengthens his advance. 2. One walks on water as he'd cross a field, then sinks in tidal wavelets, forced to yield. The other sees the ocean as a threat, is horrified that one has gotten wet. Whenever one will try to slip away, the other's bark is heard across the bay. 3. And even now, though one has died, the other barks to bring him to his side. He listens for his step across the green, will know him when he comes. Months intervene. The other starts to stretch his limbs and run. But now he's not the other, he's the one. This poem is inspired by a painting. The title is Blue Sky, Take Me Away. The painting is by Kevin Korab, and I wrote the poem for Soaring Without Limits that runs a contest at Brockton Library. Blue sky, take me away. What is freedom to me? Like lyrics of a song I follow, mesmerized, like waves of blossoms borne aloft from storm-tossed trees, or thunderhead, black mane to cling to, I am hauled, wind-burned and glorious, prepared to take my nerve beneath the teeth and fly, sky-diving amateur without a cord or chute, until I grow with it, divine blue emptiness that leads me on, but dares not try to hold me down. When we would drive into town from the South Shore, we would often cross the Fore River Bridge, which was a drawbridge. Now it's a vertical lift, and the frustration is always that you might be caught when the bridge is up to let water traffic through, and you have to wait. I wrote a whole book of poems, 20 poems, about the Fore River Bridge, the need for the bridge. And this poem is about how it can be pleasurable to wait with the other traffic. The dreamer, suspended on the bridge. The driver gets out of his car to watch the bridge gates in their mechanized ascent. He leans over the metal rail to match his mood with twilight's quiet argument. And then the motor's low, murmuring idle, and shush of waves against the tugboat's shoulder surprise him with the music of their babble. He wants their tranquil sounds to last forever. The moment bursts infectious like a fever. An idler's dreaming must give way to motion. Beneath the rhythmic noises of the harbor, the tide releases currents to the ocean. As engines roll each lane in single file, he takes a breath and cannot help but smile. And recently, my husband and I went into town. I guess we've been into town twice during the pandemic, usually for doctor's appointments. And this is about a trip we made in the fall, a trip into town during the pandemic. As we join the parade of cars on the solemn roads, where the stately trees are all marked for removal, and people carry signs and shout in hope that with the trees they'll save their neighborhood, we seem to have joined a temporary state of existence where nothing is certain. Everything seems to be closed but the hospitals. I am too early for my appointment. I must wait in the lobby. The cafe has coffee. John is still driving, looking for a place to get his breakfast. He ends up away, far away from this dead city center. We wear our masks. We don't wear masks. We drive past the museum on our way home. I vowed to get tickets to come back for the show, the current show. I reserved tickets, but in time I do not go. It is the surge, the second surge, and we must all stay home. So I've made a promise to myself after this experience that once the pandemic has lifted and I get the vaccine and the city opens up again, I want to go to the MFA, and I want to see this painting. It's the cover of my book, Take and Receive, and it's a painting called Zinnias and Marigolds by Herman Dudley Murphy in Gallery 230. And I wrote this poem. Zinnias and marigolds were my mother's favorite flowers. I wrote this poem to her based on the painting. What companion would you select in this common country garden? Both zinnia and marigold, the elegant and sovereign. Elegant, the zinnia is tall, hard-working, vigorous, in yellow, pink, magenta splendor, a favorite of the local vendor who praises its unerring charm, waltzing on late summer's arm, bowing, sumptuous, twirling, chaste, beside the rose, almost straight-laced, reaching out to gather in, when cut, its blossoms come again. Sovereign, the marigold will keep its yellow petals rolled. The double gold anemone supports our summer's currency that must not be withheld but spent according to our agreement on what we need, how much we have. Its beauty, bold and curative, can keep the pests away from those most precious of our tomatoes. Thank you so much.